It's almost midnight here in the old Iron Paradise, the very hot and sweaty and, as usual, a little smelly. It's me. It's definitely me. But this was a hell of a workout tonight on the East Coast and many places around the world. It is August 24th, and August 24th is a special day in my life. August 24th, on this day. Today was my dad's birthday, so happy heavenly birthday to my dad, Rocky Johnson, the soul man, Rocky Johnson. It's crazy, and thank you guys, by the way. I see in the comments, a lot of you guys jumped on early to wish my dad a happy birthday in heaven, and I really appreciate that. I'm truly, I really appreciate that. Thank you. As many of you know, my dad, he was a bad dude in the game, as I like to say. In the world of pro wrestling, my dad came up at a very hard time, where there was a lot of racial prejudice in the world of pro wrestling. He came up in the 60s and the 70s. We spent a lot of time throughout the South. Lived in Texas and Florida and Georgia and North Carolina and Tennessee. And, that was a hard business at that time in the world of pro wrestling before it became this global juggernaut that it is today. Paycheck to paycheck, and, it was... But we had love in the house, as I always like to say. But, my dad, he was a bad dude in the game, and he paved the way for so many wrestlers, not only wrestlers, but also just the black athlete. And it's so cool. I see so many black athletes coming up to me today, men and women, who say how much my dad had inspired them to go out and work their asses off to become something. Mike Tyson, for example, my boy Mike Tyson told me a long time ago when I first met him, he's like, man, your dad was my inspiration. That shit blew me away because Mike was my inspiration, and, I got a lot of love and respect for my brother Mike. So, he was one example of many great athletes who looked at my dad in that way and really illuminated my dad's work ethic. And work ethic is the thing that my old man taught me. And as much as you guys know, I had just a fucking complicated relationship with my old man. And the older we got and the more down the road I went with my own life and experience, things got a little bit more complicated. But at the end of the day, he loved me and I loved him. He loved me with the capacity that he had. He was kicked out of his house. He was homeless by the time he was 13. So you take that kid who was kicked out at 13, homeless, and had to make it on his own with his own two hands. That's the man that raised me with that limited yet fucking passionate love capacity. So speaking of work ethic, I look back on my old man, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do this for the loved ones that were in your life that are no longer here, your parents possibly, whoever it is, and you look back, but especially parents, and I think especially fathers and sons, when a son loses his dad, you just start to think about so many things, and I start to look back, and I look back, and again, as I go further down this road, I start to realize all the stuff that my dad taught me, all the lessons that he taught me, and the irony is, these are all lessons that he taught me that he never even knew that he was teaching me. And that is about not only work ethic, but about getting out there and earning respect and being comfortable in who you are and being comfortable in your own skin. And again, we had a complicated relationship, but these days I could look back and, isn't that the irony? When they're no longer here, you start to appreciate them just a little bit different. And in a wild way, and I'm sure a lot of you guys feel this way, in a wild way, when you lose a parent in some crazy way that I can't really explain, maybe you guys have an answer to this, you actually become closer to your parent once they're gone. At least for me, because, I had a complicated relationship with my own man, but it was, isn't that the weird thing? It's just wild when that kind of stuff happens. Anyway, my old man used to say two things. He was very proud of me and my accomplishments, but he would also make sure that he told everybody who would listen, hey, I taught DJ everything he knows. And people would be like, oh, wow, that's cool. Of course, my dad's taking credit, putting himself over that way. And then he'll finish up by going, but I didn't teach him everything I know. And he'll like strut off. As only the soul man could. Drop the mic. And the other thing my dad would say, and this is the thing that, you know, once he's gone now, I realize how much this resonates. My old man would always say, especially when somebody dies, he would always say, hey, the show must go on. That's it. That's what he would say. And he'd say, all right, well, let's get to work, or let's go to the gym, or let's do it, whatever the fuck we got to do, because the show must go on. So I just remember that was pretty profound when he passed away, and I was sitting in my truck, frozen. Like, what do I do? Who do I call first? Do I call my mom? Do I call his wife? Do I call the sheriff's department who just found him? What do I do? And then I just heard that in my head. I heard his voice, hey, the show must go on. And indeed, the show went on, as the show continues to go on. All right, so happy birthday, Soul Man. Happy heavenly birthday. And holy shit, this is 6 minutes of your guys' life you're never going to get back. Okay, I love you guys, and thank you for all the birthday wishes to my old man. I appreciate it, and I know he appreciates it. My dad loved attention. So I love it, and I love that he's getting his attention, and he's getting his flowers today, even though it's midnight here. But nonetheless, happy to give him his flowers. All right, love you guys, and thanks for all the birthday wishes for him, and I really appreciate it. And the show must go on, so let's get to work.